Hello, hello, hello. So why did Coryne collapse civilization? I wasn't paying attention to the
Yeah,
chat.
what the hell,
What the fuck
guys?
happened, chat? What was that? What was that? Oh my god. Okay, hi everybody. Hello, hello. Hi. We are coming to you as
Good to see you.
Good to see all of you as the two very lonely members of Unbeatable who aren't celebrating a birthday sick or in Great Britain. I feel like is the count off for everybody.
I could be in Great Britain right now. You
Let's
don't
see here.
you don't know.
You know, let's turn the music down because we're talking. There we go. Hi. They're trying to get this thing. They're trying to get this like emote for my Twitch to play right now. Basically, there was this trap inch that we caught. Her name is Muffin. She's great. They really liked Muffin, and they've just been spamming Muffin everywhere in the chat. Has been their whole thing. Yeah,
cute.
tag yourself. I'm Great Britain, says Matt. Basically, it's going to be vibing just the two of us. We've got a list of questions that are mostly for me because Kenna has volunteered to be very nice and read off the questions and like sort of conversate with me about them.
Yeah.
Because, this is what happens when they just leave the two of us at home. That's what happens. Is that we have no one watching. Oh shit, I'm so loud right now. Before we begin, I have some things to grab. I know that you saw that we launched them.
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
earlier
you
this
do.
month, but I finally have them in physical. Oh my goodness, we have Pride merch. Look at that.
We're shiny.
Look at that. The We're Shiny playmat. Look at that. We're shiny. It's so cute. It's so cute. And then also, I would be remiss to not point out that we also have the We're Shiny sweater, complete with We're Shiny on the back. And of course, a really gay version of the Unbeatable logo on the sleeve. There it is.
It's on there somewhere.
It's on the thing.
Look at the sparkles. It's so cute. Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month, everybody. And then also, we have it in t-shirt right here.
A
Look at how
t-shirt.
good that is. Now, you might be wondering, Aaron, you bought a t-shirt that is the right size for you. Why are you not just repping the merch? Well, see, you got to see, because we played a Jackbox game last stream, and Kenna accidentally already saw it right before we went live.
Shut up! I didn't know.
I work
didn't know
out.
that was from. She's so cute. Oh my
so that
god.
was the time that I spent. I got really bored, and I bought one of the TKO shirts.
I love that.
That's not in our store, and it won't be, but I did think that would be fun. Yeah, anyway, that happened, and I thought that would be a fun little bit to have. I gotta keep remembering to adjust because my camera in the overlay is not like centered with my camera in Discord. So
yeah,
that's how we're doing. Anyway, let's see. Let's look at the chat. Gay as hell.
That's so cool.
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, Kenna. That's everything I had to do. Do you have the document ready? Or we can go through some questions.
Great, I do. Are you ready to answer some questions, Professor?
Fuck no, but I'm going to anyway.
Well, too fucking bad, man. This is the shtick, okay? This is what you got today. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, today we are starting off with a question from Brent. For the Professor, would there be any benefit or incentive for a player to specialize in a type as opposed to a diversified team?
I'm so glad you asked, Brent/Kenna. I'm so glad you asked, because first of all, it's the same reason why anyone would run a type team in any other like game. It's like, okay, well now my assets all work. So like my TMs, they can all do the same thing. If you have like a type specialist trainer archetype, of which there are several, more coming in the 0.5 update. I'm excited about those. And like there's a couple other mechanical reasons, but also there's the flavor reasons of like, you be a ghost type specialist. That's sick. Can you imagine if Coryne was like a fighting type specialist? How crazy that would go. You could chuck fire extinguishers at everybody. Real quick, I saw I saw that Joe in the chat said that they've been reading the webtoon I recommended them. Hell yeah. Anyway, sorry, I saw that.
Yay!
It's very
nice.
Good. But yeah, there's a lot of reasons to diversify. It's called the I Stole the First Ranker Soul or something. I'll send you a thing earlier. It's actually finished.
Okay.
So you can actually get through it.
Anyway, back to the question.
Yeah, there's lots of benefits to doing it. Now, of course, you're going to run into the issue of like, okay, well now I'm weak to specific types, but that also means you know what your team is weak to going into it. And while like in a diversified team, you might be like, oh, this can be the counter this can be the counter this. You know that there's only going to be like 3 or 4 strategies that actually work on your team meaning that you can prepare for those 3 or 4 strategies, as opposed to in a diversified team just accidentally getting shut out by 1 or 3 or 4 strategies that might fuck you up. Anyway, that's a good one. That's a good one.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Corinne's team is pretty diversified, but I am a little bit worried about that being something that happens, because I don't have like a solid like strategy. So instead, I build each Pokemon to like its own strategy. If I were gonna play the game again, I would definitely take what you just said into account, knowing now how we've built everything, and I would maybe specialize in a bit more.
Yeah, right now you've got like a team of Titans, or it's like individual, very strong Pokemon, but like If somebody gets a real good strat going, oh my god, you're fucked.
Fucked.
Yeah, you're
so
not
ruined.
There.
Excellent.
Like Karen said,
All
it's
right,
more impressive to
next
win with your favorite
question.
Pokemon. That's another good one to say. Yeah.
And you know what? You're absolutely right. All right. That's why my girl Myrtle be going crazy. Okay. Anyway, next question from God. What's up, God? Is there any chance of a battle royale between the players?
Absolutely fucking not. This is actually a question we've gotten a couple times.
I mean, it kind of happened once, and I got my ass kicked, and I don't feel like doing it again.
That was a 2v2 double battle in Kanto Journey. Yeah, that definitely happened. And ultimately, there is so much more shit that we have to get through for this campaign. I just don't have the time. And that's going to be a whole episode or 2. And one of the other problems that PvP doesn't work yet is because right now the game is in its infancy, as it's been for the entire time we've been playing it. And because of that, rules change like between sessions all the time. Do you know what a feel bad it would be if the players suddenly lost a battle to one another because a rules change happened and one player noticed and the other player didn't? Yeah, so not until there's a published book. Once there's a published book, fucking sure. Yeah, let's do it.
We can go ham.
Yeah. It's still gonna cause feel bads, but it'll be less my fault and more their fault.
Okay. All right. Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Next question is from Shade.
Yep.
With spoilers.
Spoilers. Spoilers for Weathering Storms. I think episode like 14 and beyond.
Okay. And I can read the whole question?
Yeah, go ahead and read the whole question. I'm going to hold my hands up, and then I'll put them down when the question's done being asked. Okay?
Okay, great. Spoiler. Okay. Crimson Rockets being defeated, okay? Now that we know that happened, can you reveal any of their goals or plans that they had?
Okay, so with that specific faction, no.
I was like, Aaron, you should really keep your hands up for the answer.
No, it's the thing of there are still free agents in the world. There are still ways that those plots could come up, especially where I think that the players are going after this arc. I definitely think that would come up. So just because something is no longer a threat to the region doesn't mean it no longer impacts the story. Yeah. So,
damn, I was really hoping to pick up some kind of slip or tidbit or something there.
You know what's crazy is I've just remembered that there are people here who are not caught up on the Patreon episodes because like we're also on YouTube, and I saw a question in chat just now where it was, has Coryne thought of a nickname for her Dragonair? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know where you're at. I don't know. Because we have a huge gap of we're like 8 or 10 episodes ahead of the Patreon release.
Yeah.
And then the Patreon release is 3 episodes ahead of YouTube. So we're like 13 episodes ahead of YouTube. So maybe.
Gonna have to watch to find out.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's coming, okay? At some point in the future, it's coming. Okay.
Who knows?
Next question. Next question is from Firefly. Oh, that's such a cute name.
Aw.
Since people can get the typing that their Pokemon have from hanging out, can Pokemon change their typing by the same means? And if so, would it change their appearance?
Okay, so for anybody who does not know, there's been a recently confirmed thing that, like in many Pokemon fanfiction, in the world of Unbeatable, people, if they spend enough time are exposed to a specific Pokemon type enough, for example, if one were to have close contact with a legendary Pokemon, right, they can be influenced by that type energy and take on a little bit of that type energy into themselves. For this question of can Pokemon change their typing, and if so, would it change their appearance? We have a confirmation of this. In what's it called? In Shadowed Path, there was an example of a Kantoian Electrode or Voltorb becoming a Hisuian Electrode because it was exposed to not even the type energy of the grass type, but exposed to an extreme amount of type energy while it was just surrounded by wood. So yes, it could absolutely change their appearance. I used a Hisuian one because that was like the easiest to explain at that point. I have been playing with the idea of more custom typed Pokemon recently.
Really?
Kenna knows what I'm talking about, but again, we're so far ahead. We're so far ahead.
Okay. I'll shut up.
Jesus, Crown Guard.
Right.
Third listen of the whole show? Holy shit.
Whoa!
Holy
Ooh, you know what?
Whoa.
Crown Guard, I would love... You know that I take notes. I'd like to see your notes. I'm so sure that you have caught stuff that I have missed. That's so fun.
You probably caught stuff that I've missed.
Okay.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I know, right? All right. Okay. Next question is from Twin Tuition. Ooh. I like that. Twin Tuition. Without giving too much away.
To read that name the first time I read it, I was like,
Twin Tuition. All right, without giving too much away now. Is there a chance of another tournament in the future? I really enjoyed the Seafoam tournament, and the tournament that I hosted. You hosted one that's excellent and loved seeing the creativity of the team building.
So, yes, but this is not the answer that you want because I've already confirmed that there will only be one more tournament in this campaign, and it will be Indigo Plateau. Don't fucking... No, you don't get to pretend to act upset for the audience to win points. You were just as miserable during the tournament as everyone else was.
I didn't mind it was fine. Look, now that we've been through it once, I think it'd be great if we did one again.
There will be one more tournament in the show, and that will be Indigo, assuming they get their badges. Though some of them are closer to their badges than others. So maybe not everybody will be in Indigo, and that's an interesting question. But yeah, there will be one more tournament. It will happen, but that's it, and it's at the end. So you got a long time. You got to lock in. Something I tell the players.
Is that giving too much away? Is that giving too much away?
No, because the audience already knows. Because I've said it before. It's the same thing I said to you guys. Of Weathering Storms, depending on the players' choices, will end us either 50% of the way through the campaign or 80% of the way through the campaign. So which means that we're either really close to Indigo or not fucking close at all to Indigo.
Damn, that's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah. Oh, hey, look, Crown Guard caught Aurora's trainer ability back during the tournament, which is fun.
What?
Yeah.
That's something I definitely missed.
Yeah, that is such a crazy difference. It's because there's some shit coming up, Sean. There's some shit coming up that is gonna go wild. That's all I gotta say. I've had some shit that's coming up in Weathering Storms planned since day one. I'm very excited for it.
Wait, are these things that I know about?
No, of course not.
They haven't happened to us yet? Okay.
There are things that like no other soul on this planet knows about, except for like one time, like my girlfriend wasn't paying attention on a call, so I just started listing spoilers, and she was like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" And I was like, "Nah, you don't know." Haha.
Whoa! Death. This means death. All right.
Yeah. So Coryne did end the universe. I was right.
I mean, listen, Palikia. How many fire extinguishers does it take?
How many?
Anyway.
Answer the question.
I didn't want to. Pausing really quick. How rapidly do you expect the players to get badges?
I don't think that it's a spoiler to say that I think that there will be some badges gathered off screen. I definitely think that at some point in the future, there will be a time gap. I don't know when that's going to happen, if it'll occur after Weathering Storms or after the arc following Weathering Storms. That depends on the player's choices. But there will be a time gap at some point, and I fully expect there to be a couple of badges gained off screen. It just straight up, I think that's the case. And I think that that's to prevent the show from becoming grindy in a way that like is not fun to listen to. But B, I think it helps level the playing field because you might know that some of the players are at different badge levels than others. I will not do anyone's final badges off screen, or probably not their second to last badges either. But we're in that mid area, that like 5, 6, sort of 7 area badges where it's like, we could skip a couple of these. Because if you remember, the players of Unbeatable in our Kanto region can get up to 10 badges. They only need 8 to qualify for Indigo, but they can get up to 10 badges. Anyway. Could God make a fire extinguisher so large he couldn't use it as a weapon?
He couldn't use it as a weapon?
Yeah, it's so big so God couldn't pick it up. Yeah.
I mean, how big would that have? Like black hole big? Black hole small?
Black hole small. Know. Black hole small.
We're talking like universe sizing.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. So is the plan for Celadon to just hijack a fire extinguisher delivery truck and have Coryne just shh, ground guard?
This is what happens. This is what happens when Kenna is the only other person on a stream. Is every question is a fire extinguisher question because they only know one thing that gets to you. You need to show them more weaknesses so that the chat is more varied.
Useful. I don't need people to go around trying to pick out a weakness. I think we can roll that statement right back. Actually. Nice. So when does the fire extinguisher become a held item for a Pokemon? At any point, can I get them one? Will you be doing campaigns in other regions?
I think no matter what, the next campaign will be in a different region. We've talked. I mean, this is something we've probably talked about in Q&As. Is I don't think the next campaign will be a continuation of this one. I think we're planning on letting these characters take a break post Indigo if they make it to Indigo. I'm not against revisiting them in the future, but I think it's no spoiler to say that the next campaign would be in a region that isn't Kanto. Now I won't give anything more away. I don't want to necessarily like make any promises regarding that campaign because while I have a decent idea of what I want to do with it, that's minimum 2 years away, minimum year, 2 years away, somewhere in there.
That's fair. That's an interesting timeline. When is Coryne getting a pygmy Tinkatink that uses a certain weapon?
I don't know.
Not in the cards as of right now.
I'll also say that
are there
Kenna, if you're the first one to get a Tinkatink of the players, I have multiple people who will riot.
I know. I was like, I really think that would be a bad time for the group, I think, if I were the first one to get one of those. Are there any plans to implement contests? We've talked about contests.
I plead the fifth.
What do you mean?
It's not my project. Okay. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Oh! I know something y'all don't know.
It took Kenna a second to remember what was going on. Yeah. So I plead the fifth.
Nice. Okay, great. Pleading the fifth. Heard. Okay, we're not going to talk about it anymore. So, just an opportunity to like kind of go ham with her Pokemon move descriptions? Question mark.
Sorry, I was making
that'd be fun.
Let's see here.
I go crazy with the descriptions. I get way too into the theater of the mind.
Aaron wants to be a woman wink. I appreciate that, Faye. Yeah, you go crazy. You go wild, actually.
Will the next campaign be Pokemon based or fully using your IP?
I will not make a announcement regarding that at this time. That has to do with the completion of the book. That has to do with a lot of other factors. I do not want to say anything that will get us in trouble later. So keep watching.
Oh, trouble. Big trouble. Okay. I have another question from Balthazar 2234. More Mystery Dungeon, please.
Yeah, I want more Mystery Dungeon too. It's hard though because it's one of those things of you have to have very specific people to run Mystery Dungeon. Just like from A, knows the Mystery Dungeon format, B, knows the game well enough, C, has the spare time and ability and effort to run it. I'd love to do more Mystery Dungeon. It's not off the table for us to do in the future, but it's also not fully up to me in that moment because like I can't take it on as an additional responsibility. It's also more stuff in the pipeline to get edited. Adding extra shows and one-shots is very hard right now, so we're taking our time with it and working on different things to get people scattering of stuff that's going on. I will definitely say we will do it again at some point, but it's not on the recording schedule right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm frozen because I know I've read this name and I've heard it said correctly. But I've never had to read it out loud before, and now I'm really scared, and I understand how Matt feels.
Because I don't want to fuck it up.
I don't. No, because I know that they told us how to say it, and I can't remember.
But I also don't remember, and I feel bad. Yeah.
Is it Dyson Hime?
I think it's.
I'm so sorry.
I think it's that, because I don't think it's the other way that you would say the C's in that. I think it's
right. Okay. If you're in the chat and you want to correct me right now with like a what is that? What's that called? The phonetic alphabet version of your name. I'm so sorry. Yeah. All right. So their question is, as someone freshly caught up with the series, I was wondering if there were any plans or ideas about running one-shots or adding one-off missions with some of the weirder Pokemon mechanics and fan projects. For example, the Delta Pokemon from those few TCG sets, or even Fusion Pokemon, since there is an online calculator for infinite fusion to get the correct stats. Whoa. That's a lot.
One-offs?
I don't know a lot about
Not particularly one-offs. So kind of what I was just talking about with like one-shots. One-shots are hard, right? But those mechanics have definitely been looked at, is what I'll say. Is specifically Delta Pokemon is something that I've been going, that's kind of interesting. No, I've not looked at anything with Infinite Fusion because ultimately there are over 1,000 Pokemon that exist, and I think I've used less than 100 of them in Unbeatable. So I don't particularly feel the need to seek out fusion Pokemon because there is 30 years of backlog, right? Next year will be the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. There is 29 years of backlog of Pokemon for me to play with and use in weird and interesting ways. I think that Delta Pokemon are interesting and super cool, but even then I probably wouldn't lean super deep into them because, again, there's over 1,000 Pokemon.
Not me running to know what Delta Pokemon. Google.
I can explain Delta Pokemon if you want. It's from the
Please do. I
don't
know what we're talking about.
So basically, in the trading card game, they introduced what's called Delta Pokemon, which are Pokemon that have been retyped. So, for example, you might get like a Meowth that's an electric type, or a Vulpix that's like a grass type, or something like that. I actually am not thinking of any Delta specific cards off the top of my head, but this is just sort of an example. And kind of like what we were talking about earlier with type infusion on people in Pokemon, I think Delta Pokemon are super interesting, and I would like to look at that more.
I would love to see that in the. Yeah. I think that'd be super cool.
Imagine if Myrtle was a fire
I think
type.
That'd be.
Yeah.
That'd be. Actually, I don't know how I feel about that.
Valid.
All right. I'm switching back over to the chat for a hot second. There's a question from Smithy. Hey guys.
Hey,
Aaron, if you were playing instead of DMing, what would your Pokemon What Pokemon would your team be?
So, this is such a fucking big question, and people ask me it every month, and my answer changes every month because Pokemon are dope as shit, dude.
Because
and
Pokemon.
Like there's so many Pokemon that are cool. Like straight up. I mean, obviously, like there's my favorites, right? Like if I could have a Spheal, I'm having a Spheal, right?
Yeah.
Just in general, that's just gonna happen. But like,
yeah.
It so depends on like what the setting of the campaign would be, where we're starting, what I have access to. Because literally, like, I like doing like thought experiments. So I do independent like Twitch streams that I've been doing for the last couple weeks. By the way, you guys ever get bored, twitch.tv/obsidianolive. Go check it out. Go check it out. It's beautiful. But
no.
Sometimes I'll have them just like throw a location out at me and tell me like what all of the locally found Pokemon are, because like it's such a fun thought experiment to be like, oh well, if I started here, like I'm gonna be that boy with a Magikarp. Now, if it was like Isekai, just the shit that's in my pockets, I get dropped in a random point in the Pokemon world, yeah, it's probably a Magikarp. I think I could tame a Gyarados pretty early on. But yeah, it changes all the time. I think off rip, my 3 favorite Pokemon in the world are Flygon, Spheal, and Misdreavus. So ideally, one of them would be on my team. But I also, even if I don't get Flygon, I want a Dragon of some kind. Dragon types go crazy, right? Like even as far back as like Dragonite, the OG, is awesome. So yeah, it depends. It depends. I think my least favorite Dragon type, or like major Dragon types, like Salamence. I'm not a Salamence guy. Okay.
What?
Anyway.
I like Salamence.
If
you could get another Pokemon from Seth's family, what would it be? I want the what's this? Is it a Skarmory?
Skarmory, Spur, yeah,
I want Spur.
Larger than average Skarmory. Yeah. Speaking of larger than average, I was actually writing the 0.5 version of the document yesterday, or earlier this week, but also yesterday. And I was redoing the rules for like size changes for Pokemon. And I was basically, one of the ways that it works now is now it like focuses on like the height of the Pokemon and then putting them into size categories versus going like, oh, your Pokemon's like 2 size categories bigger, and then that doesn't tell you how big your Pokemon actually is. The reason I bring this up with Spur is I had to do the math real quick on Spur, because I know that Spur is a like larger than average Skarmory. He's not a king size Skarmory by any means, but I know that he's in the bigger than average category. So Skarmory is typically 5'7", right? So I was doing the math using the new rules, and I'm pulling up my math from yesterday. And knowing that Skarmory is at the above average, let's see here. So let me pull up my calculator again, because I realize I've now deleted my math on this, so I'll just do it live real quick. It's 5'7", which is 67 inches, right? 67 times what's it called? 25%, or sorry, 1.25%, because it's going to be plus 25% from the thing, means that roughly this Skarmory would be about 7 feet tall.
Never mind.
That's how it's writable. And that's might not have come out in the descriptions before, because I didn't know the exact height of the Pokemon, because the way that we do size categories was broken. So I fixed them. And I was like, oh, this is a 7 foot tall Skarmory. Sick, nasty dog. Sick, nasty. But it's also not tall. It's whatever the longest dimension is. So 7 foot is it's like wingspan is like whatever it is. Because the way height works for Pokemon sizes is whatever dimension the Pokemon is longest.
Hang on. I just wanna Google. I just wanna see if I can Google like a human scale comparison 7 feet wings. I just want to know what that looks. Jesus. Okay.
Yeah. It goes crazy. It's
quite large.
Crazy. Yeah.
Quite large. Okay.
Matt says, "Don't take my family's home security system." Because that's what Spur is. That's what Spur is. Spur is like that security system first, companion second, and mount third. How do it fly? Pokemon. Flying type energy.
Yeah.
If Gyarados can fly, Skarmory can fly.
If Gyarados can...
Yeah.
If Gyarados can fly. Yeah. Which Gyarados do you know that flies?
Yeah. Yo.
Anyway,
shout out to what is it, Pokemon Trainer Vicky or whatever it's called? Yeah, that's where I stole that from. There's a Pokemon fanfic where the main character gets a flying Gyarados, and it's the funniest shit ever. It's the funniest shit ever. I saw a question earlier that I want to address. It was like a while earlier. Let me look up with it. It's Nate over here said that they caught up with me on Unbeatable, but because they're first familiar with me from stuff that I used to write on a website that made Pokemon fanfiction. And they were like, are there any like references in there? There is no references to my fanfictions in Unbeatable, because that felt weird. That felt like semi-masturbatory. I was like, I'm not happy with that. However, I felt like it's like, oh yeah, my work is so good, I need to reference it. Oh.
I mean, like,
yeah. And I was like, that didn't feel right. However, there are several references to several other Pokemon fanfictions that I do love. Namely, one that I've like touted a bunch is I Will Touch the Skies. It's a fantastic one. Look it up. It's great. I've put several references. The main character has shown up in this as like a random NPC, because I needed an NPC name, and I was like, you know what, we're doing this.
Okay, so
Grace and Denzel bit. Yeah. 100%. So anyway, I saw that question. I didn't want to let that go away, because I was like,
Beautiful. I love that. If Myrtle becomes a fighting type, would their cannons just shoot boxing gloves? Yeah, like the Acme thing that has the and it just ka-ching, ka-ching. Yeah, for sure. That would exactly be it. Excellent. How do you come up with a gym leader's team to make it challenging but not overpowered? Ooh, a balancing question.
Ooh, okay. So this is actually something that I need to write down. It's one of those things where I actually, and if you're on the Discord, which by the way, we have a Discord. I know Matt's not here, so we have to do the bit while he's not here. We have a Discord?
We have a
Discord. Yeah, there we go.
We have a Discord, everybody.
If you go to patreon.com/unbeatablecast, you'll be able to get access to our Patreon, which through even our lowest tier, our $3 a month tier, you can have access to our Patreon. Over on our Patreon, I recently put out a message to the community going, hey, I'm working on the 0.5 update for Unbeatable. Is there anything that you guys want to see? Like, I've got a list of things I'd like to change, but if the audience is telling me like 10 of them are like, hey, this is something that we'd really like, I listen to that and I look at it, and I might not implement it in the way that they want it implemented, and I might not put in exactly what they want, but I like to look at the opinions. With that, somebody recently put in a question about like, hey, can you do a chapter on building gyms? Because it's really hard to just come up with that on the fly. And that's something that I definitely need to make, because I forget that not everyone can just go off rip because they didn't build the game, because they don't have an intrinsic knowledge of the game that we built. So just a couple quick tips, though, that I'll probably end up putting in that chapter is I always make the gym leader's Pokemon's average rank 1 rank higher than the average rank of the Pokemon that I know the trainer is going to use. So for example, if Coryne walks in and she's got a level 4 Wartortle, or a rank 4 Wartortle, a rank 4 Vulpix, and a rank 4 Dragonair, right? I know it's been a while, but it's not rank 4 anymore. But that's the example. Then all of the like gym leaders Pokemon would probably be rank 5, with like the boss Pokemon being rank 6. Another thing that I generally do is I generally have a pretty decent knowledge of, and this is one of those things where I need to find a way to gamify this and like do something with it. I have a pretty decent knowledge of whether or not my players have a plan. Very rarely do they actually have a plan. Only recently have some of them started, shout out Kenna, to have a plan. And because of that, I know how much of a plan I need to give the gym leader. It's like, if the player's coming with a plan, okay, gym leader needs to be able to lethally strike a Pokemon by turn 2 or 3. Straight up. If they're coming in without a plan, I can waffle a bit and show off some more fun mechanics, but that also bites me in the ass sometimes. Ooh, I will talk about that in a little bit, Faye. Thank you for bringing that up. I'll talk about that in a hot second. But yeah, so that's just my basic thing, is just looking at rank. I always have a boss Pokemon. I like looking at items. Items can make battles really interesting. I also tend not to give gym trainers like maximum friendship. I tend to start them on like 7, going to max with like the boss Pokemon. Yeah.
That definitely feels really challenging, for sure. Are there any plans for shifting the questions now from, I can't read, Arthian Ragstark? Cool name. Any plans for talking Pokemon?
We do got a Lucario in the party, so it's gonna happen at some point.
Sick!
It's one of those things where, as far back as Shadowed Path with the evolution, Tori has made it clear she wants her Lucario to talk. It's gonna happen at some point.
Yeah!
And I don't have a ton of control over that. I can only play off the energy of the player, and the player has said, hey, I want my Pokemon to talk, so I'm going, okay. Now, if Matt was like, hey, Fender needs to be able to tell me when he's hungry, I'll go, all right then, and that'll probably happen faster.
Fender does not need to speak.
So, Sean, spoilers, I don't necessarily, anything that's not in the current, like, season, I don't necessarily count that as spoilers. So, Shadowed Path is when Lucario evolved and everything, and yeah, and Tori's like, I want that Pokemon to talk, so it's gonna happen.
That's sick.
Fender started going up and going, feed me, servant, would be pretty hilarious.
Feed me, Seth Wake.
Smithy asking this question. No, I have a visceral reaction to this question, so I'm gonna fucking read this question real quick, Kenna, and then we'll get back.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Smithy says, "Hey, Aaron, would you ever consider letting Burrty, Kenna, Matt, or Tori run a one-shot within your world? Consider, bitch! I beg them to constantly.
Stop! Do you care about me at all?
I've regularly said, guys, run something, run anything. Please. I'm begging you. Please. Anyway.
Lacker of Lacking said, this is for Kenna. If Coryne does fulfill her goal to being a gym leader, what gym type would she be? You know, I've been going back and forth about that a lot in my head, and I still haven't landed on an answer. And if I had landed on an answer, I probably wouldn't tell you. But it's very much like ideas I'm throwing out there, right? Oh, it's classic palette. Just keep it normal and like really, you know, pump them up and get like really cool normals, or bring in, like, do a normal type gym but bring in Pokemon from other regions of the normal so that people get exposed to what's out there, because Coryne is so sheltered in her life. Or maybe she just wants to go like a missing type that's never been done before. Like maybe Coryne will do there hasn't been a bug type gym, right?
Not in Kanto. In Johto,
maybe
absolutely.
Coryne overcomes her and does that, or something like that, you know. So I don't know. I'm swirling ideas. There was another. I feel like we talked about this question before.
There was one that's really interesting, but I don't want to toss it out because I think you might go with it, and I'm like, let's keep that as a spoiler. But you did toss a really interesting idea at me. I will say, during a personal stream recently, somebody was like, "Yeah, what type is Coryne gonna be?" And I was like, "Listen." And I stopped and I paused the game. I turned the camera to my face instead of the game, and I was like, "Listen, if I don't know what type of gym Corinne's gonna run, there's no way in fuck that Kenna knows what type of gym Coryne is
sure
gonna
not.
run. There is no way." Kenna is a planner in the way that she writes something down and forgets about it 30 seconds later. Like there's no way that Kenna knows what's going on.
That call out is so accurate.
Oh,
ow.
God.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just true. It's just true, you know?
Dang. That's crazy. Okay. I got another question from Joe, who says, quick question while the QA is happening. Is there any specific evolution you'd be excited to come up with?
Listen, I want to come up with custom Pokemon so bad, but I am not going to do that, because if I'm going to spend my time coming up with custom Pokemon, I'm just going to build monsters for my own IP. Now, are there evolutions I want other people to come up with and to write down their evolutions, or like they're like draw them and make them all cool? Yes, absolutely. There are Pokemon evolutions that I think deserve to be out here. First of all, we live in the year 2025. Get rid of single form Pokemon. Give everything evolutions. What are you doing, dog? Why do we still have single form? Why is Tauros still just a guy, right? Sure, we got the alternate form for Tauros now, but why is he just a dude, right? Like, what are we doing? Well, give everything an evolution. That's where I'm at. That's it. No specifics. I just want everything to have an evolution.
That's all.
That's it.
That's all.
How many 151?
Nice.
How many OG 151s are still like single evolution Pokemon? I'm gonna go look at this real quick. Let's see here. We got.
I was gonna say, I don't.
National Pokedex. Here we go. Gen 1. What's still a solo Evo?
I feel like this is the drag Kenna Q&A. Okay, but
it is.
Honestly, I went to a Pokemon drag show this past weekend.
It goes crazy.
So much fun. If you have a Pokemon drag show in your area, highly encourage you to go. You know you're going to hear the theme song. You know you're going to hear some crazy Pokemon you're going to see some crazy Pokemon costumes. The fans are in the building. It's a great time. If you can get to Pokemon drag, go to a Pokemon drag show.
Yo, wait a second. It's just Pinsir, Tauros, and Kangaskhan. Is there anything else? Or Ditto. Okay. Yeah, give Pinsir an evolution. Give Kangaskhan an evolution. Give Tauros an evolution. An
evolution for Ditto.
Exactly. Farigiraf. Exactly. That's a great one. That's a fantastic one. Yeah. Evolution for Ditto. It stops being able to turn into shit. It's just permanently stuck that way now.
A heresy.
It's Ditto and Deuces are the two Pokemon. Deuces, it just turns into a specific copy, and it's stuck there. Let's see here. Oh, to see Jigglypuff serving cunt.
But I did! You don't understand. It happened. And she sang the Jigglypuff song, man. It was sick. Anyway, the pirouettes, priceless. Jigglypuff pirouettes, amazing. Aaron, quick game question from Dirty Dice. How did you come up with prices for shops? Oh. They're running their own game and they're trying to come up with prices for like Ogrod's tents, things like that.
Let me just tell you, the answer should be, oh, just go to Bulbapedia and look at what the fucking answer is. Bulbapedia can't help you. You know why? Because people who make these fucking games don't fucking understand pricing in their own game. You? No, because Bulbapedia can only tell you what got written in the games. And let me tell you, there is such a fucking disparity between what things cost in early games and late games, or even just in the same game, how to get them. And it's like, okay, this item you can't buy. You can only pick it up, but you can sell it for $100, which is worth fucking nothing. It's like, okay, basically a good sort of like price point is at least the way that the money distribution system's supposed to work in Unbeatable. Like if you've been running it similar to how I run it in the campaign, where it's like, okay, here's what they can grind for, and they get a certain amount of money based off of like their big battles and everything. What I found has worked pretty good is for a lot of the medical items, potions, super potions, all that, you can work with what's in the game. If it's a held item, bump that shit's price up because your players will abuse the fuck out of it. All right, first of all, held items, they need to be like 5-10K. Easy. The common held items, 5K. The expensive ones, 10 to 20K. Easily. All right? Bump the shit up in price. Broke. Because guess what? If you give them something that they need money for, they're gonna get money. That's how it works. You can take these greedy bitches and you can push the entire story on them just needing money for their items. Okay? Just make it more expensive. Now, don't make it unreasonable. Make it a plot point. Make it to where they can get it, but take these greedy bitches and extort them from every bit of money that you can. That's my go-to. Also, Seth is broke because he spends his money compulsively. Matt knows this. He pretends like it's because I don't give him money, and then you see people who get the same amount of money, like Tori, and who budget it, walking around with 6 figures in the pocket. Kenna's broke right now. That's why she's making that face.
No, I was really hoping I was gonna dodge this bullet. Why'd you have to say
she's broke right now. She's not as broke as Matt, but she's broke right now.
I might be a little broker than Matt. I haven't looked at that I actively avoid looking at the dollars on my character sheet, okay? I don't want to see it until I absolutely have to.
Tori is
Let's see. Oh, are there any tips for making random encounter tables from Artheon Ragstark?
Listen. Yes.
Listening.
Okay. This is because I'm a sociopath. I'm pulling up my encounter table for Weathering Storms right now. What? Basically, I'm just gonna tell you what I'm not gonna tell you how to make an encounter table because I don't feel like I'm qualified to do that. But what I will tell you is I'm gonna pull up my encounter table. Okay. So, for example, this is from early in Weathering Storms. Route 5 is a route that I knew that they were going to be on. Okay? So, I have a 2d6 encounter table. That's 11 possibilities in there. In the middle is Pokemon. Of just like at 6, 7, 8, 9, you got just Pokemon. That's going to be their most common encounter. I want them to run into Pokemon all the time. Because one of the things with the 2d6 table is it's a bell curve. The middle stuff is going to happen way more often than stuff on either end of it. Out from that, there's trainers. There's one spot each for trainers, right? And then out from that is items. So like 10, 11, 12, and 2 are all items, right? And basically, I have players roll on the encounter table. They get one of those. If they get an item, I have like a 1d10 table of shit that they can knock off to get an item. So we got like lucky eggs, thunderstones, light clay, citrus berries, lepa berries, rare candies. There's shit that you can just put on that table, okay? If they get a trainer, I have a list of like 1d4 trainer stat blocks that I can use. Where it's like, oh, if they're going to run into a significant NPC, I'll have that stat block prepared. And it's just like, okay, they'll just run into that NPC. But if I just want them to run into random NPCs, I just have like 4 stat blocks that I've already made that are set off to the side. And then if they get a Pokemon, I have a different 2d6 table that doesn't quite go by type. It goes by category of Pokemon. So for example, at 6, 7, 8 is common Pokemon. Dog shit, regular Pokemon. Pidgey, Rattata,
You're not dog shit.
Meowth,
you take that back.
Schnabel. All those Pokemon, right? Schnabel. But it also includes their evolutions like Pidgeotto, Pidgeot, everything. That's on a D100 table. Then I know that it's a foresty area, so I go, okay, outside of that, the second category of Pokemon is grass types. And grass types, I've got a D12 table of Oddish, Gloom, Vileplume, Blossom, Bellsprout, Weepinbell, Victory Bell, right?
We all know how the Oddish went.
We all know how the Oddish went, unless you're not caught up, and then you don't. out from that on either side, I was like, okay, next, the two categories that are going to be a little bit more rare are going to be flyers. If a flying Pokemon decides they want to fuck your day up, they can just come out of the sky and attack you, which includes like Pidgey, Pidgeotto, Pidgeot, Hoot Hoot, Noctowl, Combi, Vespiquen, which, by the way, you might notice some of these Pokemon were also on the common table. That's because they fulfill both categories. And then the other one is bugs, which is a D8 table, but it only has 4 options on it because I wanted to fuck with the possibilities, which is Pineco, Fortress, Combi, and Vespiquen, which are the only bugs I thought could be on that route. Then, specifically for Unbeatable, I have a section for rare Pokemon, which are like just Pokemon that I think are powerful that can be found on the route, like Abra, Kadabra, Alakazam, Happiny, Chansey, Blissey, Vulpix, Ninetales, Growlithe, Arcanine, right? But I also have a section for invasive Pokemon, for Pokemon from other regions that can't normally be found here, but because like somebody brought them over, it got released or something. Combi, Vespiquen, Plusle, Shinx, Luxio, Luxray, all those Pokemon. I have so many encounter tables because I like to get to roll dice. So what I can say, and this is all this to say, make a 2d6 table, make another 2d6 table, make a d100 table, make a d10 table, just nest them within each other. Because guess what? The more that you make your players roll, because I also don't roll the dice. I make the players roll the dice. The more that you make them roll, the scarier it is, and it's great, and it's fantastic. Make them feel fear, make them pained. Anyway, I haven't been paying attention to the chat at all.
We absolutely feel fear, and we absolutely feel pained. It's so scary.
There you go.
You said you haven't been paying attention to the chat at all?
I haven't been paying attention at all. I've just been reading my own thing.
We got really...
Shout out to Danny Blackson TV for the $5. Aw, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Aw, Coryne's one of the
Coryne and Gavin are your faves.
Yay! Hell yeah.
Well, Danny, that's actually a really opportune moment because I did see that you asked a question earlier and I wrote it down. Aaron, how do you gauge when Pokemon attacks work on humans?
I have started writing the word creature in all of my descriptions for moves, which I recognize that you guys have not had my versions of the moves for the most part. You've been using Oni Sheet. Oni Sheet is fantastic, but it's also not the official versions of a lot of these moves. So you're going to see a lot of changes coming up when the 0.5 update comes out. And it's, I mean, there's 2 pieces of information that really tell you when it's going to affect a trainer. Is A, I generally speaking in official battles will just assume it's not hitting a trainer ever, right? I just assume that that's not on the table. If we're in like a Team Rocket battle and I'm like, hey, this Pokemon's going to target you guys, there is a chart in the rules for like, hey, the equivalent for special defense is what, like, is your guys' like awareness? Is it intelligence? It's something like that. I think it's awareness is your guys' stat for special defense. It's like I need all the players to roll me an awareness check because there's a conversion table on if it happens. And if it happens, it's the normal contested roll. The players roll a defending roll. The attacker rolls an attacking roll. And, you know, the players could potentially get hit by a thunder wave, and it could be really scary. And then, you know, it could kick off an entire encounter.
Okay. All right.
Which one's Gavin?
That's
Oi,
so
mate,
funny.
it's the British one, isn't it?
Stop.
I do in my current personal streams. I'm playing through Pokemon Sword, and there's the rival Hop, who's like, you know, obviously everyone there's British because you start in the south of England, and I do the most obnoxious, shitty little British accent for him ever, and I'm just like, it's great, it's great.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
We got time for a couple more questions?
Yeah, 100%. We got 10 whole more minutes.
Okay, great. So, oh no, I'm gonna try my best. And I apologize. Hang on.
Okay, go for it.
Oracion Sonata?
That sounds good.
Oracion Sonata or Oracion Sonata?
Okay.
Anyway, that person with a really cool name that I'm butchering says, do Pokemon Masters exist in the Unbeatable world?
Do Pokemon Masters exist in the I'm going to assume that they're talking about the title of like a Pokemon Master, someone who is like considered like top of their field, knows how to train Pokemon. Yeah. There's like less than 5 of them right now, I would say. I would say not even a champion necessarily counts as a Pokemon Master because that's like the next stage, right? You become champion and then you go past that. I think there's like less than 5 Pokemon Masters in the world. Unless you're talking about Pokemon Masters the game, in which case no, because I've never fucking played the game once in my life. The animations look cool. People need to stop asking about these fucking Croconaut Crocs. We can't do it legally. We can't do.
But they're so cool. listen, if we ever... Also, we would never be able to do that. You're absolutely right. And we'd never be able to do it and sell it either.
Lacker of Lacking says that we were a
Lacker
favorite
of
Pokemon D&D
Lacking.
podcast. Thank you for the $5. More Australian Pokemon? All right. Bet I'll put more poison types on the table. That's fine.
Look, I'm down for some poison types. Abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Flaming Torchic just started watching the series earlier this month and just finished the first playlist. Can't wait to be finished catching up with the series. Flaming Torchic, I appreciate that. You're gonna get spoilers if you stick around here. I'm gonna be real. We've said some shit regarding later stuff that you're not ready for.
Sorry. It's okay. It'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
All right. Dragon Lemur says, is every time Fosco gets a setback in the daily rules just Taub being assigned to a new job? What would Taub have to do to get fired? And I would also love to know this.
When I tell you that I have to plead the fifth on this conversation, when I tell you that I can't talk to you, it should tell you so much.
Also, Aaron asking for a lawyer during a Q&A.
Also, shout out to Dylan White. Thank you for the $5. I appreciate it. Oh, we make your Saturdays better. Also, Coryne for champion. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Love that. Love that.
Matt doesn't want poison types around.
Danny Blackson TV, why hasn't Coryne just choked out Graham with her massive arms? Well, there's a bit of a barrier to that right now. Also, B, truthfully...
No spoilers for Wuthering Storms.
Sure. On some level, Coryne has a lot of, like, feelings, and they're big feelings, right?
Not the kind of feelings that the shippers have been putting in. Not those kind of feelings.
No, that will never happen, by the way, y'all.
I cannot clarify enough that
that will never happen.
Coryne shippers, it's not happening. It's not happening. I cannot clarify this enough to you guys. That is not the subtext of these conversations.
I get it. I do. But that fantasy will never be fulfilled in game. But hey, you keep dreaming.
Yeah, I've seen more than a few comments about it, especially in Spotify.
Yeah,
those fuckers talk about it a lot.
Interesting. Okay, Spotify. Coryne, contrary to her muscular stature, really doesn't love to resort to violence, but she does just hold a lot of energy in her body that she expresses in that way with fire extinguishers. But
once,
Coryne also one time,
and
Coryne also, because she grew up with this character, she does on some level understand why and where that comes from. And so when you have an understanding of what's happened to somebody like that, and it's really hard to whatever Aaron just read is funny. When you have an understanding of somebody like that, it might be a little bit harder for you to choke them out and kill them in cold blood, no matter how bad you want to and could justify it.
Especially because when it comes to that plot line, like going all the way back to Kanto's journey, Coryne was the one who discovered Graham's motivations in episode like 8 or 9, no, like 10, regarding the Pallet Town hospital. Also, I do want to give a shout out to Ethan Radulski, who says, hey, found our campaign a month ago and has had fun listening, is currently on episode 30. Shout out, Ethan. Let's fucking go.
Nice!
Hell yeah,
welcome
dog.
in. It's really good to have you. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah. Yeah, we got time for like 1 or 2 more questions if people want to toss like 1 or 2 more in the chat.
Coryne is shipped with therapy.
That was Faye. That's what made me laugh in the middle of your fucking thing.
Faye! What's up, Faye?
Oh my goodness.
Fire extinguisher badge in the future, just saying, hey, man.
It's crazy. Also, by the way, for anyone who asked questions for the cast in the June Q&A section, those are, I'm trying to get another community done. Maybe do 2 Q&As in July, ideally, is what we're trying to do. I'm not promising anything. Because obviously we can't answer all the cast questions because it's just me and Kenna because we're here. High five.
Just the two of us.
Dungeon Meshi of Pokemon. No.
Faye.
No, we're not answering that. We're not answering
Okay,
that.
but hear me out.
I'll kill you.
Oh, okay.
I'll kill you. I'll kill you. I'll jump through the stream, kill you. Are there any plans for streams not related to Unbeatable? Y'all are great, and I don't want you to have to stay in character all the time. Well, we did one recently. We did a vibe time.
But I like my character.
That's true.
Yeah, but that was kind of also still Unbeatable related.
That was true. That's true. I think one of the problems is because I'm the only unemployed person in the cast. It's really hard to get you guys for streams. Yeah. If there were more people who had more mental energy, maybe. Right now, I'm lucky I get them for the recording days. I get them, right? So like, it is what it is. I see that Matt's asked a question. I haven't read it yet because I'm holding off to finish this very genuine question. But yeah, we'd love to do more. We're trying to figure stuff out, but it is hard to get everybody around for like even like half the cast, right? It's like several of us travel quite a bit, several of us don't. It makes life very hard to get them off of recording days.
Time zones are a bitch. Straight up.
God, I've just read Matt's question. I knew what it was going to be too before I read it. I knew what Matt's
I got it. Hang on. Wait. Let me read it. Okay. Quick cue. Long time listener, first time question asker here. How long? Excuse me. How much? Wait. How does one get their question asked in a future Q&A?
Thank you, Matt. That was a perfect impression of him. You sounded exactly like him. Thank you so much.
No.
You go into our Discord and we will have a post up directly after the stream. I'll be putting the post up for the July Q&A. We'll start gathering questions there for the next time that we get everybody together to answer questions. So if you want to go to our Patreon, that'll take you to our Discord where you can then go down to the Pokenet. I will warn you guys, Pokenet is for champion and above if you do want to ask questions, because fortunately, we have a community of like almost 400 people on that Discord, which means that if we didn't tier it off somewhere, we would never get to everyone's questions. So we do have to tier it off at specific places. I mean, I'm incredibly grateful for our community. Somebody pointed out that we were at almost 400 people in the server, and I was like, holy fucking shit, that's a lot of people.
Oh my god. You guys are really great too, by the way. Thank you all for being so kind and so awesome. Like truly a blessing of a community you guys are. You guys are the best.
It's crazy to think that we've been doing this for like 2.5. We're in our third year, so we're 2.5 years. We've been doing this. And oh shit, Asher, thank you so much. Sorry, I got distracted by Asher giving us $20 whole dollars. Thank you so much. Thank you, I appreciate you.
Do a little dance. Do a little dance.
But like it says something that we've been doing this for like 2.5 years, right? Obviously the production I've been doing for like 3.5 years. But like actually making the show and putting it out and everything, 2.5 years. And I've had like 5 bad interactions with the community in that entire time. It's like that's a real low batting average. That's real low.
Wait, I haven't had any.
But guess what? You don't answer the YouTube comments. You don't answer the Spotify comments. You're not always I'm everywhere.
That's very true. I primarily stay in the Discord with y'all. So just know that if if you want to interact with the cast or you want to see our little bloop eyes on your messages, be in that Discord with us. That's primarily where we're at.
Yeah. Palikia is 4 of those, actually. Every time Palikia mentions that they like Ogerpon as a Pokemon, which I have never played a game that Ogerpon exists in because it's a DLC Pokemon. Every time they mention it, I go, I'm going to burn this community to the ground.
No, you leave Palikia alone.
Let's see here. Space Dad on the Discord. All right, thank you, Arthurian Ragstark. You're Space Dad. I'll do effort to remember that. One of the nice things about like live streaming so much lately, Kenna, has been that like members of the community will come into Twitch and they'll be like, "Hey, I'm this person on like the social media or whatever," and I'll like get to remember who they are. It's like Superintendent in our Discord is like her something on Twitch. And it like helps me remember members of the community. Because like, by the way, if you guys aren't aware, I do like regular Twitch streams, and it's not like for my job. I just get bored in the middle of the day. And we hang out and we play Pokemon Sword most recently, but also some Baldur's Gate, which I think I think it's been like a week since I've streamed Baldur's Gate, so I do need to pick that up at some point, but I'm kind of into the Pokemon Sword stuff. Let's see. I think we can do one more. I know it is time, but I think we do one more because people have been doing stuff. Do you see one that you want to mention? Like, not even a question, just a message you want to talk about. I remember, Joe. I knew who you was. Okay.
Is Myrtle's parent Goke's old starter?
No. Myrtle's parents, no. Myrtle's parents, we meet at some point in the show. That is all I will say on that. However, since we're here, there is something that was mentioned earlier that I do want to point out because there is less than a week left to do this. I don't know if you guys are aware, but in tabletop, there we go. Sean literally just brought it up what I was about to talk about. in tabletop spaces, there is several.
Oh, Matt brought it up too.
Oh, Matt also got it up. Fuck yeah! There we go.
Yeah.
So, okay, guys, it was on my list of things to talk about. Don't worry. Faye already triggered it earlier. I'm getting to it. In tabletop
I wasn't
spaces,
talking about it.
there are a few different ways that creators are honored, whether they be like actual play cast members, people who make tabletop games, people who like are producers, people who are artists. There's a thing called the Crit Awards. It's run by a good friend of mine, Ivy. And Ivy has gotten together this wonderful like board of people who take votes. It's basically a popularity contest. I'm gonna be real. It is. I'll say it for what it is. Lord Jabidicus. Oh my goodness, $5. Thank you. Oh, it's okay.
Lord Jabidicus.
I bet you that's Premier. Thanks for the commute bearable. Yeah, hi Kenna. Sorry, I got distracted on that. But it is basically a popularity contest among the tabletop things, and it feels really good to win. We haven't won one yet. We got nominated last year, which we got close.
We got nominated. It was incredible.
I got told that we were very close to winning, but we did not. Unfortunately, we were outvoted, which is fine because who we were up against was Viva La Dirt League, which is like
that's very fair and
hundreds of thousands of dollars.
So good, by the way, and deserved. Yeah,
100%. This year, though, we know most of the people we're up against. I think we could win. So, if you guys are not familiar, I'm gonna put a link in the chat. This is for critawards.org. If you guys could take some time to pop in there to vote for the finalists, because we have less than a week left until the voting closes. Oh my God, someone just slammed a door in my house. If you want to know other people who are our friends who we would love for you to vote for, pinned in our alerts channel in the Discord, there is a list that I made of just people who are friends of the show, people who we respect, people we know in the industry. I'll go ahead and pin it as our most recent pinned message in the alerts channel.
Nice.
But seriously, if you could take a time to click that link to go vote for us, I really think we stand a chance of winning this year. And if we win, we then become award-winning podcast Unbeatable, because we are nominated for best legacy YouTube channel, I believe. And yeah, we would like you to vote Unbeatable in the Crit Awards. It would be really cool. It would be really sick, nasty. You got all your friends to vote. Damn, thanks, Dylan. I appreciate that. Hell yeah.
Thank you, Dylan. That's awesome.
That's exactly what we're looking for. Like, if we don't win, that's fine. I will state for the people who are in the Discord, there is a little bit of a controversy regarding whether or not we win, because if we do win, we have promised the members of the Discord that we will create a channel specifically for people to post photos of their pets. I do not want the pets channel to happen, but if that's what we have to do in order to win,
do it.
Listen. Anyway, I don't believe I have anything else for the day. Kenna, do you have anything else?
No, just that I love you guys, and I hope you guys have a really good day.
Oh, that's so fucking wholesome. Okay, yeah, with that, we'll see you guys later. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Have a good night.